This is a lateral position with 40 degrees of shoulder abduction. This is fixed in a fixed traction. This is how the monitor is going to stay. We are going to operate in this position and also over the head side when you are changing into the different portals. That is the view. So you should be able to move around your head. So that is the posterior portal, 2 cm below and medial to the posterolateral angle of the acromion, that is the anterosuperior and inferior ankle. This is a view through the posterior portal where you are able to see the rotator cuff interval between the biceps and subscapularis. From the coracoid, lateral to the coracoid, insert the needle through the outside in technique, lateral and close to the superior to the subscapularis. Along the direction of the needle, make a stab incision. So needle guides for the stab incision. Then we can insert the switching rod for the cannula. So the anterior working cannula should be a bigger one, 8 or 8.25, so that your lasso can come inside. Or if you are using an anti-grade device, it can be used through the bigger cannula. Once you insert the anterior-inferior cannula, again seeing through the posterior portal, we have to make the anterosuperior portal. This has to be lateral to the anteroinferior and superior to the anteroinferior portal. We can make it in the same rotator interval or slightly lateral to that. You can see that the needle coming from the anterior superior portal close to the anterolateral acromion. With the guidance of the wire, make a stab incision, then insert the switching rod. Here you can use a 6 mm cannula or you can just use a trucker sheet with the scope for the visualization purpose. So this switching rod can be brought back and keep it over the lateral to the biceps so that it avoids crowding of your scope and the anterior inferior cannula. That prevents retraction of your cannula, as you see here. Then you should shift your scope from posterior portal to the anterosuperior portal through this trocar. Now we are seeing through the anterosuperior portal and posterior switching rod is inserted along with that 6 mm cannula for the shuttling of the sutures has been introduced. Once you make anteroinferior cannula and the posterior cannula, by visualizing through the anterosuperior portal, you can see that completely detached and inferiorly placed labrum or Alp solution. Then with the help of the elevator, try to separate the labrum with the capsule from the glenoid neck. You can see that that extension should go up to the 7 o'clock position and also should come superiorly all along so that the labrum can be completely liberated from this small position. You can see my elevator is going up to the 7 o'clock or 7.5 or 8 o'clock position so that the entire labrum can be elevated after the separation. You can see that it is completely separated and coming up very easily now. Once liberation completed, with the help of the suture retriever, you can see how much you can able to mobilize. You can see that this labrum is completely, we are shifting from inferior to superior position and easily it can be mobilized. This is the position you should come and get attached to the original position. And the separation also can be confirmed by seeing the entire neck of the glenoid skeletonized. And you are able to see the subscapularis muscles in down. Then you can use the rasp to clear all the soft tissues and make the cancellous bone to bleed so that the biology helps labrum to heal in the glenoid. Now the first anchor is inserted around 5:30 position, as you see here. Here I am using the all inside anchor and it is double loaded with the suture tapes. This is the very important anchor, so that don't go too medial, so that you should have enough bone for the purchase. So you have a white, another one is the blue and white threads. Then I make the posterolateral portal lateral to your posterior cannula, so that helps you to take bites at 7 o'clock, because you can see that I had separated up to 7 to 8 o'clock position. Whether you can insert one anchor in the postero-inferior side and you can switch it back, or the same anchor which you had used in 5:30 position can be used to suture the 7 o'clock labrum. That's why I am using it double loaded here. You can see that 25-degree lasso is coming through the posterolateral portal, and this should be in opposite direction. If you are using the right side, it should be in the left side. You can see that easily that you can pierce the entire labrum and exchange the suture tape in the lasso here. Here I am using the blue and white thread combination, and this goes through the bite of 7 o'clock position. You can see that I am taking this both through the posterior portal. Then I usually park in the posterolateral portal, so that these threads will not mix it with the second bites. The second bite is very important bite, which I am taking a bite from 6 o'clock position, and this is going to shift it to the 5:30 position here. So you have to make sure that your entire labrum is pierced again, and bring it upwards and coming out of the labrum over there. Then here the neonatal wire can be exchanged with that remaining white thread, which is going to be the main thread going to shift the labrum from inferior to superior direction, from 6 o'clock to the 5 o'clock position, 5:30 position. You can see that I have taken the two threads. This is the one which I am going to suture first, because the shifting is very important. The other bite which I have taken at 7 o'clock is mainly because I had liberated over there, so that has to be sutured back. So this is a very important stitch. After shifting the labrum from inferior to superior, and also you can see that how much it was displaced down, and it was elevated to the original position and repaired. Once you completed this knotting, I am using the sliding knot, and it was exchanged with, and it was followed by half stitches. Once this is completed, then you can take off the remaining two threads which was taken at 7 o'clock position, and that two threads usually I take through the posterior cannula and suture the labrum. You can see that the remaining liberated labrum at 7 o'clock position is anchored well to the same position and slightly superiorly displaced position and tied over there. This is a very important step. By suturing these two knots, will bring the entire head to the middle of the glenoid from anterior to posterior direction, and also from inferior to superior direction. Once you completed these two threads, I am taking next bite in the superior direction around 4 o'clock position. Here I am using the lasso first, and this neonatal wire is exchanged with the fiber wire, and here I am going to use the knotless anchor as a push lock. You can see that the remaining glenoid surface over there, it was covered up to the 5:30 position, so this will cover up to 4 to 3:30. Here I am doing the drilling at the neck of the glenoid and the medial surface of the glenoid. then thread the fiber wires into the push lock, and it was hammered. The same way another bed was taken, and the third anchor is again a push lock knotless anchor. Once we completed all the three, so totally we have a 4 knotting. I mean 2 are knotless and 2 are knotted, but we used 3 anchors only. You can see that completely it was all the labrum from 7 o'clock position to the 2 o'clock position completely covered up to the subscapularis. You can see that humeral head is centered over the glenoid. Thank you very much.